Hi everybody, welcome to Nazo Circus. How are you guys doing? I hope life is treating you well. I am having a nice cold drink with my brother, my younger brother, Obumneme and I. He'll introduce himself properly. And today we are discussing a very serious topic, but we are keeping it very light, as we do. Bumi, say hi to everybody.
Hi guys, this is Obum, and I'm really happy to be here, having a drink with my big sister, and having a serious conversation too.
Okay, so guys, today we are just discussing special needs children, and I did say when I set up this podcast that I would discuss all topics, serious topics, fun topics, taboos, myths, all those things, the good, bad, the ugly, everything that we as a people don't like to talk about. And obviously that there'll be loads of uncomfortable conversations. And this, for some parents, is one of those uncomfortable conversations. But my brother, I call him Bumi because I don't want to keep this very serious. So I call him Bumi. So for the purposes of this podcast, Bumi means Obum, right, guys? So, Bumi, let's talk about autism.
Okay.
And guys, we're talking about autism because Obum's last son, who happens to be my godson, Chirolu, is on the spectrum. And so we just want to talk about autism because, Bumi, I've noticed that over time, so many people that I know have have kids with special needs, obviously different types of special needs.
Yeah.
And so let's just talk about this autism journey with Chirolu, because I just want to know how you found it, the challenges, what you've learned, the good things about it, all that stuff. So, so I'll just pass it over to you. I think my first question is, at what point did you realize that there was something, I don't want to say something wrong, I'll say something special about Chirolu?
Yeah.
So what point?
Well, Chirolu was born August 28th, 2019.
That's my birthday. Not the same year, but my birthday, by the way, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, if you all know, that was right before the onset of COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we had him. We were excited. Things, you know how it is, and he's so cute and so special. So, it was a great time for us. But during that period, we noticed he was having feeding issues.
Okay.
So almost like he will eat and you feel like he's choking.
So what, like acid reflux, or was it something like that?
Either he's not swallowing his food well, like the food is stuck. So, which we'll get to later on. A lot of kids that are on the spectrum have that issue.
Okay.
So we decided to get a feeding specialist.
Okay.
So
it started as you just being worried about feeding.
And him, and he was extremely picky too with food. But that didn't, we didn't know anything then. So the feeding specialist came, and she asked us specific questions. People are very careful to,
especially in America. Yeah. Especially in America, because you guys are always, oh dear.
Yeah, and I'm a lawyer too, so they're always even more careful with lawyers. So they came. She asked us, I think my wife Adeza will know the specific dates, but I think he was about a year or so. She asked us questions about, different things. Has he started speaking? Stuff like that. And then she actually suggested, too, that maybe we should have him tested.
Okay.
Yeah.
At that point, did she tell you tested for what?
She said, speak to your pediatrician, explain some things, and maybe. But Adeza, going back, let me give her benefit. She had already even said that before. But as an African parent, I was like, nothing is wrong with him.
Yeah, of
this
course.
country, you're always trying to diagnose people, So which
So you were a bit resisting. You were
yes,
resisting.
I was like, my son is fine. What's he's slow. Maybe, and then you start even quoting yourself. Maybe I didn't even start eating earlier. This is speaking. I used to stammer when I was growing up. So maybe it's just like his father. Don't worry about him. But so we went to the pediatrician and they asked, how many words? Because each age you should have, how many words.
So by this time, were we in the middle of the pandemic?
Yes, we're right in the middle of the middle of the pandemic. So, and which was a problem because he could also not play with other kids.
Yes.
If we had seen him playing with other kids or
not playing,
you would, you would pick up stuff. It was just us. We are all at home.
So at this point, it was just a feeding thing.
It was just, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then he hadn't started making any.
Yeah, making, yes.
Okay.
I dare say I started picking out stuff too, he would, he's very focused on one thing at that sometimes.
Fixated.
Yeah, fixated. So we went to the pediatrician and they suggested that we have him tested to see if he's on the spectrum, which is another process altogether. It takes time to get even the test done. It's expensive, it's and also like we said, COVID, to get in a doctor's appointment. Yeah. So we finally got him tested, and we realized that that they told us he was on the spectrum. So now.
So let me stop you there. When they talk, because it's when they say on the spectrum, do they tell you what end of the spectrum? Like when when you're told, do they say, if it's like a high level or low? How does it? What is the wording that they use? Is it
that's actually a good question because some people
I don't
complain
know
about that.
Okay.
Some parents would tell you this that there are different levels. Of course, there are different levels. You see kids that hit their heads on the wall or kick things. So those parents actually get frustrated, saying that sometimes the kids that get services. The sort of services they get are not really for the extreme cases. And then when you put it all together, it kind of creates, there's no set service level for, they believe that there should be different.
Yes. Yeah, which makes sense. If it's on the lower level, I don't know, I'm not using the right words, but you know what I mean. Yeah. If it's on the lower, then the services should be different from a child that is on a different level, not on a different level.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there's none. There's just the same.
None. Those parents would actually tell you that they would prefer if they have another, maybe even another name.
Okay. So that there's a different. You can differentiate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's yeah. That's a good question. It's also an issue.
Yeah.
So then the real work began because we wanted to put him. COVID was about to end. Even traveling out, because kids on the spectrum, a lot of them, they don't like anything on their faces. Okay. Wearing masks.
Anything.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So he would, even finding him in school there with a kid that couldn't wear a mask.
Oh dear.
Was also an issue. So when we knew how serious it had been, I think we took a trip to Colorado, a skiing trip. And when we got there, he was sick.
Okay.
We were all sick, the altitude and all that. And they wanted to give him oxygen.
Oh, no.
They kept trying. He was strong. And for some reason, I don't know, I think there should be a test on this. Autistic kids on the spectrum are very strong.
They have
almost like supernatural strength. Yes. So
at that point, he was fighting it.
There were nurses trying to hold him down. Really? I'm like, I don't know where
that little child.
Yes, exactly. So it was so bad that he bit his lower lip.
Wow, in resistance,
and he was bleeding.
Oh my God!
So they were like, you know what? Let's just
leave him alone.
So traveling, we would have to get a letter from his pediatrician that he can't wear a mask.
Okay.
So we would go on a plane. You know how everybody looks at you like, what are you trying to do? That was also an issue. An issue. So yeah.
So before we even get deeper into that, how did you feel when you got the diagnosis? How did you feel? Were you relieved, as in, okay, now we know what it is, or were you thinking, oh my God, like how exactly? Because that's also something we just, as parents, we just have to keep it moving.
Yes.
And sometimes we don't even stop to process what we're feeling. Did you process it?
Well, there were different emotions. One was, it was like, is there something that when we were pregnant, I know women hate when we say when we were pregnant.
Yeah, but I think it's correct because even though we're the ones that carry the big belly, you guys still suffer it with us somehow to an extent.
So we're like, because there was we're moving house, stressful period, we're traveling. So, even my wife was wondering if it was the stress. And then you start wondering, what, like you said, we have to move on. What next?
Yeah.
How are we going to do this?
Navigate
How
this.
are we going to, we already had 2 boys. Chirolu is the 3rd boy. School, the school system, how will people look? Not people, but,
Yes,
how
course.
the association,
Of course. Yeah.
So it was, but all credit to my wife. It was sorry.
You can take a sip of your drink because this is a lot. Yeah. I know we're drinking our brandy and Hennessy and Coke, people, just to keep this very lighthearted, but it's a lot. Because, and I feel like maybe you're even feeling how you're feeling now, because sometimes you're on autopilot.
You don't even
have time to and you have other children as well, so you don't have time to even process. So so there was this feeling of is there something we did or we didn't do? Yeah. Okay.
So so we started praying, that's one. We pray and our days are strong. So we're like, okay, what are we going to do? Let's set up a process. Well, we got the family, we told the family. And like you said, we had to start for him because we know it's not that's one thing I have to keep emphasizing here. It's not a death sentence. And they do improve. I know kids that are, but the big thing is patience. Because you're used to, okay, my child talks, my child moves, but every day you have to pick one thing that he's doing that is making you, because there's progress. Yeah.
And I think also because you also have 2 older children, you already know what the pace should be, so that may not help
exactly
in trying to be patient.
Exactly.
Because our boys at this age, they were doing this, so okay, but so patience is patience and prayer.
Yes, yes, and prayer, and then knowing, just appreciate each day. One, there's always, like, you would see progress each day. Maybe yesterday he wasn't doing this, and it's very little things.
Yeah,
maybe the way he holds the pencil.
To somebody else it may be little, but
exactly.
to you it's
to us is him saying hi sometimes is exciting.
Of course,
for us.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think for you guys also, and I'm sure for many parents, I'm sure you had to educate yourself on autism. Because so let me talk about myself. Before Chirolu, obviously I knew about autism. I watch so many programs, and so I've watched dating programs on autistic people, all types of things. But obviously, when it's not happening to someone close to you, when it's not within your family, you're just like, okay, I know what autism is in general. But I've had to, and I'm continuing to educate myself. I'm continuing to watch movies targeted, on autistic children. I watched something on the plane coming over here called In a Different Key, and it was a movie again, autistic children, and I'm trying to read up on it. So I think education, and I'm sure for parents, I'm sure obviously you guys had to start doing courses and things.
Yeah, no, there's a book that I would suggest every parent, with an autistic kid. There's a book called Carla's Voice.
Yes. They told me about it.
Yes, it's written as a dad and his autistic his daughter. They wrote the book, and it tells you a lot. You know,
I think I saw that, but it's in Kindle. I think I haven't read it because it's in, I don't know, some format. But I know that there's a recommended, and it's
Yes.
called Carly's Voice.
Carly's Voice. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for what you realize, especially for non-verbal kids or that are going through the process, is they understand a lot. They hear a lot. So you always have to treat them like they understand what you're saying. Because a lot of times they do. They might not be able to verbalize it
or acknowledge
it. So don't go down or your voice, different voice, stuff. Just try and discuss like you would discuss with with any kid, because they are normal kids. So they hear a different voice, but that doesn't mean they don't understand what you're saying.
So he was diagnosed, and then you guys just started doing
yes
what was recommended. So the first one I think is therapy. Was it therapy?
Was therapy. We got speech therapy first, and that's another thing. Again, it's interesting because a lot of parents think that the speech is the most important thing, which is really not. I mean, speech is very important, but there's something called which we'll get to later too. There's something called ABA.
Okay.
It's applied behavior analysis.
Okay.
So it's a new with the spectrum. There are people that believe in certain things. There are other people that don't. They're like, no, my child will not do this. Yeah. But what it means basically is just the behavior. The behavior is the most important thing.
Not the actual speaking.
Not the actual speaking. So there are steps like the reward step, almost like reward for when you ask them to do something in a way they do it. Something like a cookie.
Interacting.
Yeah, interacting. Yes. And they repeat stuff. Okay, do it this way, and the more he does it, you see what each child, like any other child, you see what motivates them. What motivates Chirolu is food.
I wonder where Chirolu got this food. The same food that he was struggling with eating.
That he was struggling with eating.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so food is a big motivator for him. So he knows that if I do this thing in a certain way, I'm gonna get like this little
something
no matter how
eat.
small.
Nice. Yeah.
But the way they do it is even while they're doing that, they will try after a while when he's getting into the process. You start removing that reward because you're not going to be with him all the time.
You don't want him reliant.
Yeah, it's not if he picks up a book, you give him a little cookie. When he goes to school and he picks it up and nobody
gives him. Okay.
Yeah, it becomes a problem.
So that thing. And correct me if I'm wrong. So that thing is to introduce that initial back and forth interaction.
Exactly.
And the repetition is so that they can get certain things. They can know how to do certain things.
Yes.
Irrespective of whether there's now a reward or not.
Exactly.
Okay.
But the criticism by some parents is they think is robotic. Because you're repeating it all the time, they think the argument is the child actually doing this or is just in like a remote control mode.
Autopilot.
Yeah, autopilot and moving. But for me, the child is doing it. So whatever it is that I really do not.
Yeah, and that's that's what you
want. Yes.
Okay.
And then even with ABA, apart from the reward, they reduce things to micro steps. Okay, for example, if he's using the restroom, he goes, washing his hand is one step, putting his hand together while he's washing it, rubbing it together is another step, putting under the water is another step, using the towel to clean his hand. What you would do just, automatic, but they now break it into little micro steps. So...
Oh my gosh, that requires a lot of patience.
It does.
And dedication.
Yes. Yes.
But I guess the reward is once they get it, they get it.
Once they get it, they get it. And I swear by ABA now because I've seen the progress he's made. It's really, really, really helped him out. Yeah.
So what would be your what would you like people who don't have children with special needs, or who don't have, or who don't know much about children with special needs? What is it that you would like? How would you like the world to treat children with special needs, and even parents with children with special needs? What is it that when you think, what would you want to see more of?
Yes. I'll give you an example, which I hope I can hold it up while I'm saying this. Hold it together. We had Chirolu in a daycare, and his speech therapist would always go there to see him. She would go there, but she would come out. She didn't. I knew there was something she wanted to tell us, but she wasn't saying it. She was being very careful. She's like, okay, if you think this place is nice, that's fine. Well, it's okay. That's
just subtle on the line without.
One day she couldn't take it. She called us. She burst out crying. So I was like, what's going on? So she said she's noticed that they would have him in that school, put him in the chair, the feeding chair,
yes,
where he can't come out.
Yeah.
And the other kids are playing, and he will be there for hours.
Okay.
They didn't. I mean, now I understand. I don't understand, because tell me if you can't.
It's just not.
If you can't handle my child, tell me. If you don't know what to do, don't have him there all day. He's just sitting looking around. The other kids are playing. So, a very important thing is know where the daycare, the school, the services that he's getting. You have to, because what hurt me for that especially is, if I had gone in to check, which I do now. I might not even tell you I'm coming. I just go in, If I had gone in to check, I would have seen it. And he spent 3-4 months there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, have they been doing this the whole period? So
I think that, but you can't blame yourself. You can't blame yourself for that. When you send your child to a school and you're paying, because I know you guys pay so much out here in America, you're expecting them to provide certain services. And again, you're expecting them to tell you if they can't provide those services or they can't. They feel like they're not well equipped. So you can't blame yourself. But what you're saying is you would, for parents with children with special needs, they need to really make sure that wherever their child is going to, their child is going to be well cared for there, and his needs will be met.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so what about strangers? What is it that you've noticed? What? And I'm laughing because I have another friend who, by the way, I'm going to do a podcast with. And when she tells me about some of the things that strangers do, what have you noticed? What is it about strangers? What would you like strangers? If they're not sure or whatever, what would you like to see? I mean, because awareness is key.
Awareness is key.
So what would you say?
I think with strangers, we go back to the parent.
Yeah.
Okay. The way the parent is treating your child is the way a stranger will look and walk,
repeat
and repeat.
Yeah.
So if you're, how would I put it? If you're reticent to have him around people, or her, if you're shielding them so much, if you're not letting them play. Okay, for example, that's in church. Our church, the kids department, they have a specific age, from 2 to 3, from 4 to 5. And then where if you're potty trained, you go to the next stage. So we left him at the junior stage because we knew, with Chirolu, with noise too, a lot of kids on the spectrum. With noise, he covers his ears. He doesn't like a lot of noise. So and you know how 4-year-olds are, 4-year-old kids are, so they run around and
scream.
So we didn't want to move him. We didn't move him. Not that we didn't. We didn't move him from the 2-year-old section to the 4-year-old section in church. But of course, the other parents, the 2-year-old section, I think some of them complained. Like, there's a bigger child here,
why hasn't he moved?
Why hasn't he moved up?
Why would they complain?
Well,
why would that be an issue, though?
Okay, for example, Chirolu back then would love to switch off lights.
Okay.
So because the kids are 2, where the light switches might be low, for the 2-year-old. But Chirolu is tall, so he can reach it.
Yeah.
And then, even though he doesn't play with other kids like that, he'll be able to grab a toy where the younger one. So I really do not blame. I mean, they could have done it in a different way, but hey, like you said, you just keep moving on.
Yeah.
So the head of the children's department called us, sent us an email. We want to move Chirolu to he's young too, so he didn't. It wasn't a very good tactful. Exactly. so I didn't. But at first I got in my feelings, but I was like, you know what. It happens. Let's move on. So, but we moved him to the 4-year-old, and he's been fine. So even us, even the ones saying this, we actually sometimes we don't know when you actually do it. Yeah. So you have to try and expose him to different things, and then explain to people. If you go, you can't explain to everybody you see. Because some people see him. He's starting to verbalize, but it's not doing it. If you see a kid that's 4.5, you start striking up a conversation.
Yes.
So they start talking to him, expecting him to respond. So you can easily go, hey, Chirolu hasn't started speaking yet, but he's not verbal, and then it's fine. But if if they come and you're like shielding him, and that they will start wondering.
And this brings me to, sorry to call you, but I just remember this story about a family member. In our village, and I'm sure you know who I'm referring to.
Yes.
In our village, and they have a child. I don't even know if that child was autistic. I don't know, but she's special needs, but I don't know what exactly the special needs were. But I know that we hardly ever saw her.
Yeah.
And I know that whenever we went to the village on Sundays, they would go. The family would go to church, and from church they would go home and leave the daughter there, hopefully with someone to look after her, and then come to us, come to our house to spend Sunday with us and maybe have lunch or whatever. And I remember once our mom actually pulling the parents up and saying, don't keep coming without your child. And this is not even criticizing the parents. I think sometimes the parents are so worried about how other people will receive their child. So to them, they think that they're doing a good thing by, I don't want to bring her here or bring him here just in case he starts scattering things. So let's just, but that's not really, I think the thing is the parents educating the other people, like, okay, because even with Chirolu, when I first met him, I grabbed him, I was trying to hug him, I was trying to play with him, but I didn't even know that wasn't what I was supposed to do until you then explain later on. So I think it works both ways. The parents also need to really educate, say, what come and see you, but our child,
move everything to a higher level. He pulls down, he can pull down stuff.
And just keep it light-hearted. It don't have to be heavy. And then so the parents with education, and you yourself, as a child is coming to the home, you also know how to respond.
Exactly.
The child doesn't want people touching their faces, like you said. A lot of autistic children don't want things on their faces. There's no point in seeing him and pulling his cheeks.
I'm trying to kiss
him and hug him and squeeze him. He doesn't want that. So it works both ways. So I feel like there's a duty.
And back home is even worse.
Oh my God. Don't even talk about back home.
Back home, because I've been to friends' houses where the thing about autistic kids too, a lot of them walk on their tiptoe.
Okay.
A lot of them. I think it's the balance. The first day we went to the ABA center, my wife went there and called me and said, "Oh my God, there are a bunch of Chirolus. The way they
walking on their tippy toes."
Yeah, they're walking. It's like an army of tippy toe kids.
Are you serious? I wonder what that is. About.
Some people say it's the balance, trying to get the balance when they're walking. That their tippy toe helps them more with balance. But so I can go into a home now within a few minutes. I see the child. I see a child running around with his tippy toe, covering his ears because because sometimes they get a whole lot of information in their head. So covering your ears is a way of kind of filtering the information. Yes, so covering his ears. So I know, and then I can see some which they don't know. Nigerian parents scolding. Let me just use a name. Emeka, sorry, I'm speaking Igbo.
No, he's speaking Emeka, you don't hear.
Emeka, you don't hear. What's wrong with you?
And if they even spank, they will spank.
And go to your room, then they will lock him there. And Emeka will come back, the same thing.
And they haven't understood.
So I'm very careful person too. So you don't want to tell parents how to, but I've had to call a few parents to the side and say, hey, your child might be, why.
And the thing is, I hear what you're saying because you want to be sensitive, but you are equipped.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they know that it's coming from a good place.
Yes.
You're not, you have a child who's on the spectrum. So you've identified something. It's up to them whether they want to do, whether they want to.
Yeah.
Because I was even thinking, I think I was discussing this with somebody the other day, and I was thinking, growing up, I'm sure so many, because right now it's now that, we're now noticing a lot of autistic children. But I'm sure growing up, surely autism did not just start with in the last 5 years or 6 years. Growing up, there would have been a lot of children who were autistic on whatever level of the spectrum.
Yes.
And they probably just had to go through life.
Being spanked. This boy.
Honest, spanking is a nice way of talking about it. You've been flogged and punished.
Exactly.
Without the parents knowing. And, I think it's good that now there's a lot more awareness and it's increasing.
It's increasing. I actually, one of these days, I will introduce you to him. I know somebody that's trying to go set up an ABA center, speech therapy center in Nigeria.
That'd be fantastic.
Because the ones that they have, I hear, or one I hear they have, I'm not going to say the name, but I hear it's not good.
In Nigeria?
In Nigeria, yes. They don't cater to the services. They are not trained, they're not equipped, to handle. So I spoke to him, and it's through the American, I think it's American school. Let me not even go into it because maybe he hasn't signed the contract. So.
Yeah.
But, I back home especially, I think a lot needs to be done. A lot needs to be done here, but, back home, because you just see a whole lot. And I don't know if it's happening more now or we're realizing it or we're seeing it more these days, but it just seems like every 4 or 5 families.
Yeah, there's a child.
A child, so.
Yeah, each family trying to manage it.
Manage it. And going back to what you were saying about parents, kids on the spectrum have specific things. A lot of them, like some of them don't sleep well.
Okay.
They wake up a lot at night, eating, like different stuff. But I would suggest not to change your parenting. Parent them the way you parent your other kids. Like Chirolu, we will put him in bed, make sure he sleeps. And so his sleeping pattern, which I hear a lot of other parents complaining that their kids don't sleep. He loves his sleep. Waking him up is actually a problem. Of course, sometimes he still wakes up like other kids, but because I know some parents that will have their kids because they like numbers, they like screen time. Even have them with their screen when they're eating and different stuff. I wouldn't suggest, some.
So you're just saying, don't start trying to adapt your
your
parenting to suit
the child.
Obviously, you have to take into consideration the child's needs.
Exactly.
But basic parenting things like, I guess, potty training, sleep, those sorts of things.
Still do it.
Yes. And would you tell him off if he did something wrong?
Yes.
Just like you would.
Just like you would, because they understand, and kids are so smart. They will use it. If he knows he knows he should clean up after playing with his toys. He's quick to scatter his toys and he's very slow to clean up. But you have to insist and stay there. You're not getting this or you're not doing this until you clean up. It will take longer. You'll be more patient, but it helps you in the long run. Because if not, you're doing everything for the child. You're cleaning up. He scatters. Because we used to have his brothers do it, and they started getting frustrated with him. They would scold him. And you know them, and in Igbo, each time you keep scattering this thing, and we have to clean it. He said,
I know his siblings are not going to treat him.
No, they are not. They're like, Chirolu, you have to clean this thing. So,
which I'm sure helps him.
It does,
because he's mixing with
the outside world. He's not going to be there all the time. So you have to just insist. Discipline. If discipline is important to you, You know, you speak to him, don't do this, don't scratch people, because sometimes they don't even understand the pain. Like he will pinch you, he will scratch you, he doesn't, you know. So you have to tell him, no, stop it, don't do that. You know, if not, you be going around bleeding all the time.
Yeah,
you know,
if you don't,
if you don't, yeah. So
just basically just parenting him like you
parenting,
would
yes,
a normal child,
yes.
and getting him the support that he
Yes,
needs
yes.
to keep improving.
Yes,
because they're very smart.
They're very smart, and you need a good team. You know, speech, if it's speech, OT, occupational therapy, the school, you know, the teachers, so you need, and you will change all the time.
And more importantly, you're saying you need a good team, talking about external people. The parents need to work together.
Yes.
Because that's for me, I feel like when I watch you and Adeze, to me, that's the starting point. If the parents are not working together as a team with the same, obviously you both love your children, but different people may have, you know, mom may think this, dad may think this, you're both doing different things. And from the little I know about autism, you have to, you know, stick to what you're doing. You can't be sending conflicting messages to the child. So the having a good team starts from the parents working and family members.
Yes. No, like you were saying, Adeze is a little stricter than I am. Maybe I don't think it's a little, but just but
she's not here to defend herself. So we will leave her out.
But there was a day that, you know, this feeding thing, we're all in the dining room, and Chirolu is very stubborn too. So he likes, like I said, he's motivated by food. So he loves his dessert after his meal. But he refused to eat something. And Adeze was like, you're not getting your dessert if you don't eat this.
And rightly so.
I won't lie, I was there. You could see him crying. You know,
really?
I was even feeling, I was like, this woman, just
give him
this. The boys were like begging him, Chirolu, Liendi, eat now. Chirolu, eat so that you can get this thing. Don't be stubborn. She refused. It was so bad that the boys stood up and said they were going to sleep.
Because
they didn't want to talk to her. They didn't want to talk to her that day. I was even eyeing her myself, you know. So we were all angry. The boys were crying. I kind of went upstairs and started crying. You know, so... But...
She did not back down.
Chirolu eats that thing now, happily, because he knows he's going to get it. And he knows... She's not going to back down, you know. So,
and that's why that good team is important. And you allowed her to, you know, continue to enforce, even if you couldn't enforce it at the time. You let her do it. And it's like I said, it's important for the family members also to know what the routine is and how to deal with him. I think that this podcast is this particular topic is a really good one, because so many of our people, which is what the podcast is targeted at, so many of our people will have these issues and then we just don't talk about them, and we just try and navigate life ourselves. A lot of us are in denial.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about this school being set up in Nigeria and the ABA thing. The first thing is the parents even agreeing that there's something, you know, that they need to address, or they need to look into, getting a diagnosis, and you know, then they can start talking about the support. So it's really important that we talk about these sorts of things. They're very smart children. There's, you know, they're special. They're special. And so it's nothing to be. Why would you hide them away or whatever? Just. You know, so you guys are doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
And by the way, he's my God. I know this autism is big for me, because he's my godson, obviously, apart from being my nephew. And I'm going to just continue talking to people that have special needs children. And just because the more we talk about these things, the more that we are aware. I actually ask questions. A lot of people don't like... are worried about asking parents questions. I feel like that's the only way I can learn. If I don't ask you,
if you don't ask, no, exactly.
How would I know?
Exactly.
Because I'm coming, I'm playing with him and hugging him, trying to squeeze out a hug, and that's not what I should have been doing. So awareness is key, and okay, I think we've tackled this tough topic.
One more thing, just so that we another thing is to get other parents together that have autistic kids, because, for example, where we live. Every other Saturday they have a library playtime for, you know, kids. because what happens is a lot of the services people do not know. The different services that you can get, and it's not easy. That's one big thing. It's not easy. You have to research, call, find out. You don't know the services that are available. Some of the services are really expensive. But what having that team of parents is, there's always a parent that will be like, have you tried this place, or have you tried this? And you throw ideas around,
share information
because they know your journey, because they're going through what you're going through. So they share information. Sometimes their kids are older. They will tell you what they had to do when their kids were a specific age. So
it becomes a community, and you get support.
Yeah.
And I think that it's very important, especially for us Black people, and I'll go down even narrow down even more, especially for us Nigerians, because a lot of us, we want our children to be perfect. They be doctors, they be lawyers. They start talking from the minute they're born.
Demanding for milk.
They start talking, they start walking. All those expectations. It's important to understand that life does not happen like that.
Yeah.
And how do you navigate it when things are not happening as you would like them to happen? So we need to, between ourselves, continue to empower each other, talk to each other, share information. And I know that you don't like to tell people anything about their children, but your friends, I'm sure they trust that if you're telling them something, they know it's coming from a good place. And you have so much information to share.
Yeah.
Because you're hands-on and you investigate, you research things.
Yeah.
So I don't know, is there anything else we haven't touched upon? I don't think so.
No, nothing else. Just patience. I keep saying it, patience, baby steps, just recognize that there's progress going on. Even sometimes you don't even see it.
Yeah.
But there's progress going on. And, you just keep working and praying.
And enjoying your child.
Enjoy each different steps. Encourage them, encourage your child when they do something that other people might think is a tiny step, but encourage, clap for him.
Yeah. Yes.
Because for example, things like I said, he's feeding now. He's eating a lot more. He's trying to talk. And progress each day.
Yeah.
That's
and I think there's something else I also wanted to say. We talked about praying.
Yeah.
Prayer is good, but prayer without action.
Without works.
Because I know so many times people just feel like, okay, my child, there's something.
Just put anointing oil.
Yes, put anointing oil. Just be praying. What God cannot do does not exist. Just continue praying. No, pray, but still continue doing what you need to do to get the support that your child needs, so that they can grow up and reach their maximum potential, which I know Chirolu will anyway, especially the way you guys are going. Yeah. It's been fantastic having you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing.
And if anybody has, any questions or information they need, you can always pass up my.
Yes. So guys, if you have any questions, if you have a child that has special needs, or you have a friend, or you have any question in general, I'm very curious about these sorts of things. Please send me a message at Nazos Circus. I have a Facebook page at Nazos Circus on Instagram. If you know me personally, WhatsApp me, call me, whatever. Let's just share this information within the Black community and within the Nigerian community, because we're very conservative as a people. And that's why we're tackling all these topics. Guys, thank you so much for listening. I am continuing to have my brandy and coke.
Me too.
After this very serious conversation. And guys, please like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think about this episode. And until next time, I'm sending you peace and love. Take care of yourselves. Bye.